Interview composer Hiroyuki Sawano on mute making memorable anime music. With the vast digital release of the bunch of composer Hiroyuki Sawano's amazing anime soundtracks, including a physical vinyl release from his music that fueled Trigger's unforgettable premiere anime film. We got the chance to speak with this artist about what the composer for anime is really like. Read and learn more about how Sawano-san got this start, what inspired him to make the type of music for which he's known and more. You created so many varied compositions for anime, games, and film over the years. How do you manage to get your start? When I was a child, I was first introduced to the music of Charge, Kaije, and Asuka. I was very impressed. From then on, I inspired to be a musician and began exploring music by Tetsuya Komuro. His work as an artist, producer, and video musician prompted me to want to become a composer. By high school, I began listening to Joe Hisashi's music for Studio Ghibli, which made me more interested in the world of film music, and I began to focus on creating instrumental music. Were there any specific anime or film scores that moved you and made you want to become a composer yourself? I've seen Ghibli films such as Princess Mononoke, Kiki's Delivery Service, and Whisper of the Heart, as well as works by Takashi Kitano such as Sotani. How about outside of anime and film? What kind of music really motivates you? And do you have any favorite artists or groups? I listen to a lot of international pop rock soundtracks such as Aria Smith, One Republic, Imagine Dragons, and Fall Out Boy. As for composers, Hans Zimmer, Danny Elfman, Ryuichi Sakamoto, etc. etc. When you first started to compose specifically for anime, what stood out to you about the process? What makes it different for working in projects in other industries? When I was in charge of the music for Mobile Suit Gundam UC, I set aside 4 months to concentrate on the production. I had never worked for that long for a time before, but I found it really rewarding to concentrate on the single piece of work. I started to value the production period as much as possible when working on new works after that. Personally, I don't think there's as much difference between producing music for animation and film. He created a lot of music for dramatic and intense series like Attack on Titan, Kingdom, and various Gundam projects, beyond the iconic Sawano drop. What's your secret to making the soundtracks work as well when the actions are on screen? Music for TV animation is created before the animation is completed, so it is really created in conjunction with the movement of the video. In the end, the director and sound director think about where the music will fit in and apply it. I try to make sound choices and arrangements that are more emotional for the audience based on the various scenes. We love your work on Kill la Kill and Promare. How was your experience collaborating with Studio Dig Trigger? Every time I work with Trigger, director Hiroyuki Imaishi, I'm greatly inspired. The world view, direction, and characters that he creates are all energetic, which motivates me to create music, and I really enjoyed working with him. With well over a decade of work in the anime industry, do you feel there have been significant changes along the way? He does your work today different from when you first started your career, but I feel has changed the most is that we are getting more responses for people overseas. On the work side, I feel that the awareness of my production overseas is getting stronger. I think I'll be able to spend more time with making music for each piece of work than when I started my career, and I'm convinced that I can proceed with conviction for each piece, one by one. Since I have gained the impression of creating vocal music, I am receiving more requests for such music. What was it that first inspired you to launch your Sawano Hiroyuki Anziki project with Aimer back in 2014? Can you tell us a little bit about how that came to be? I've been working on a lot of vocal music for soundtracks, and I wanted to start a project that will focus more on vocal music. Your music catalog is now available to a wider audience. Is there anything you'd like to say to those who are discovering your work for the very first time? I will be happy if you could listen to it while remembering my work, and even more happy if you could listen to it with your own free imagination. I'd like to thank Sawano-san for taking the time to speak with us about his music. You can find Hiroyuki Sawano's music on digital platforms, and look for the promo vinyl that dropped on April 12th. You can also see more on Hiroyuki Sawano's official website.